Welcome to Philippines Daily News. In 2024, Southeast Asian nations spent over $50 billion on defense. Of this, $9 billion went to naval modernization, with submarines taking a large share. The Philippines, an archipelago of over 7,600 islands, is now poised to make a historic leap, acquiring its first ever submarines. This move could shift the region's balance of power. For decades, the Philippine Navy operated without undersea warfare capability. Its fleet relied on surface ships and aircraft. Yet, as maritime tensions in the South China Sea rise, the call for submarines is louder than ever. Data from the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute show that regional navies are expanding fast. The Philippines' quest for submarines is not just about keeping up, it is about responding to a changing security environment. The country's leaders now face a crucial choice that may define its maritime future. Why is the Philippines considering submarines now, after decades without them? The answer starts with geography. The country's territory covers 300,000 square kilometers of water, scattered with vital sea lanes. These waters are rich in resources and hotly contested, especially in the West Philippine Sea. Rising tensions with China over maritime boundaries are a key reason. Chinese vessels routinely enter waters claimed by the Philippines. Incidents near Reed Bank and Scarborough Shoal make headlines each year. Submarines could give the Philippine Navy stealth and deterrence, making it harder for adversaries to predict their moves. Additionally, the government faces pressure to modernize the armed forces. The revised AFP modernization program, launched in 2012, aims to upgrade all branches. Submarines are now seen as essential for defense and prestige. Leaders argue that without them, the country risks falling behind neighbors and leaving its waters vulnerable. The call for submarines is also about alliance building. As a treaty ally of the United States, the Philippines wants to share the burden of regional security. Submarines offer a way to contribute more meaningfully to joint operations and signal resolve to friends and rivals alike. In early 2026, news broke that South Korea's Hanwha Ocean had made a formal offer to the Philippine government. The proposal is worth 1 trillion South Korean won, a figure that grabbed headlines. But what does this mean in practice? 1 trillion won is about $750 million at current exchange rates. This sum covers the construction and delivery of 2 new submarines, along with training, support, and infrastructure. The offer includes financing terms, which could help the Philippines spread costs over several years. Hanwha's bid is not the only one. France's Naval Group and Spain's Navantia also made offers, but the South Korean deal stands out for its price and attractive financing. The proposal promises fast delivery and technology transfer, meaning Filipino crews and engineers will be trained in South Korea. The deal's details are still under negotiation. Final approval rests with the Philippine government's defense and finance departments. If signed, the contract would mark the most significant leap in Philippine naval capability in generations. The submarines offered by Hanwha Ocean are based on the Chang Bogo class, a proven design derived from Germany's Type 209. These diesel-electric submarines are about 56 meters long and can operate underwater for several days without surfacing. They are quiet, hard to detect, and equipped with advanced sensors and torpedoes. Chang Bogo-class submarines typically have a crew of 33. They can travel at speeds over 20 knots underwater and have a range of 11,000 kilometers on the surface. Their combat systems allow them to track ships and submarines, lay mines, and conduct surveillance missions. These features would be a dramatic upgrade for the Philippine Navy. Training and support are also part of the package. Hanwha Ocean has offered to help build a new submarine base in the Philippines, likely in Subic Bay or Cavite. The deal includes simulators, spare parts, and long-term maintenance contracts. For the Philippines, this technology is a chance to join the ranks of true submarine operating navies, but it also means learning new skills and developing new doctrines, a significant challenge for any first-time operator. Submarines are now, a key feature in Southeast Asia's military landscape. Indonesia, Vietnam, Singapore, and Malaysia already operate undersea fleets. Vietnam has 6 Kilo-class submarines from Russia. Singapore fields advanced German-built Type 218 SGs. Even Myanmar has entered the race, acquiring a submarine from India. The Philippines, by contrast, has none yet. This gap is increasingly seen as a vulnerability. In regional exercises, Philippine ships lack the ability to train against real submarines, and the Navy has no experience in anti-submarine warfare from the hunter side. Neighboring navies see submarines as a powerful deterrent. They can threaten surface ships, monitor sea lanes, and gather intelligence. In peacetime, their mere presence forces rivals to be cautious. In crisis, they can change the course of conflict. The South Korean deal would not make the Philippines the region's strongest undersea power, but it could close the gap, improve training, and allow participation in regional security efforts. This move also sends a message. The Philippines intends to protect its interests with modern tools. The Philippine Navy is actually one of the oldest in Southeast Asia, but it has kind of lagged behind in modernization. Its main surface combatants include 2 Jose Rizal-class frigates, several corvettes, and just a handful of patrol ships. Most of these vessels are, honestly, smaller and older than those of its neighbors. Indonesia and Vietnam, for example, operate larger fleets with more modern ships and submarines. Malaysia and Singapore both have advanced naval technologies, including submarines, stealth ships, and maritime patrol aircraft. In terms of tonnage, firepower, and reach, the Philippine Navy has really struggled to keep pace. Submarines would help level the playing field. With them, the Philippines could monitor its waters more effectively and respond to threats under the surface. Training with submarines would also improve anti-submarine skills in the country's surface fleet and air force. Still, acquiring submarines is just the start. Operating them safely and effectively requires years of investment, skilled personnel, and reliable maintenance. The South Korean deal aims to address these needs, but challenges will remain as the new capability is integrated. The strategic value of submarines for the Philippines is really rooted in geography. The country sits at the crossroads of the Pacific and the South China Sea, with major shipping lanes passing through its waters. Control of these lanes is vital for trade and security, both for the Philippines and for the wider region. Maritime disputes with China, Taiwan, and other neighbors definitely increase the stakes. Submarines could help the Philippines patrol disputed areas, gather intelligence and deter illegal fishing or incursions by foreign ships. They can operate unseen, making it difficult for rivals to track their movements. A submarine fleet also opens new opportunities for cooperation. The United States, Japan, and Australia have all offered training and support for regional partners. With submarines, the Philippines can join joint exercises, share information, and strengthen alliances. However, geography also presents challenges. Many Philippine ports are shallow, requiring careful planning for submarine basing and operations. Building the necessary infrastructure will take time and money, but the strategic payoff could be significant. 1 trillion South Korean won is, honestly, a large sum, equal to about $750 million. For the Philippines, this would be one of the largest defense purchases in its history. The deal covers not only the submarines themselves, but also training, support, and infrastructure. To put the cost in perspective, the Philippine defense budget for 2025 is about $4.2 billion. Spending nearly a fifth of that amount on submarines is, well, a major commitment. Financing arrangements offered by South Korea could spread costs over several years, easing the burden on annual budgets. The investment is not just about hardware. It will also create jobs, transfer technology, and build local expertise. South Korea has promised to work with Philippine companies and train the first generation of Filipino submariners. Still, the financial risks are real. Delays, cost overruns, or problems with training could strain the budget. The government must balance submarine spending with other needs, from disaster response to public health. The Philippines is on the verge of a historic decision. Acquiring its first submarines from South Korea would really mark a new era for the Navy and the nation. The deal promises modern technology, new skills, and a chance to help shape regional security. Yet challenges remain. Building a submarine force from scratch is a huge task. Success will depend on stable funding, effective training, and long-term political support. The Philippines will also need to balance its new capabilities with diplomatic efforts to avoid escalation in contested waters. As Southeast Asia's naval race intensifies, the stakes for Manila continue to grow. Will the Philippines become a true undersea power, or will obstacles delay its ambitions? The answer may define the nation's role in the Indo-Pacific for decades to come.